Hello and welcome to this week's TAL Update. I'm Dr. Joe Pojman, Executive Director of Texas Alliance for Life. 1 week ago today, we all experienced the fulfillment of decades of hopes, dreams, and prayers. On Friday, June 24th, the United States Supreme Court handed down its much-anticipated opinion in Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization to answer the question of whether, quote, all pre-viability prohibitions on elective abortions are unconstitutional, close quote. Justice Samuel Alito wrote the opinion, joined by Justices Thomas, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Barrett. The opinion completely overturns the 1973 Roe v. Wade and 1992 Planned Parenthood v. Casey precedents that have prevented states from protecting unborn babies from abortion before viability. Justice Alito wrote, quote, procuring an abortion is not a fundamental constitutional right because such a right has no basis in the Constitution's text or in our nation's history, close quote. The court's new precedent allows state legislators to regulate and even ban abortions as they did prior to Roe. We are ecstatic. The Supreme Court finally remedied a terrible decision made nearly half a century ago that profoundly damaged society in America. Legal abortions have claimed the lives of more than 62 million unborn children and have hurt countless women. That will no longer be the case in Texas. Roe's unsound and ultimately indefensible reasoning cost the trust of millions of Americans in the Supreme Court. Finally, this opinion rebukes the 50-year-old lie that the Constitution has a right to abortion, which it does not have. And this decision begins to restore confidence in the Supreme Court and its application of constitutional principles for millions of Americans. After nearly half a century, Texas can finally protect mothers and unborn babies from the tragedy of abortion, which the legislature and Governor Greg Abbott have already taken giant steps to do. Texas is well prepared for this moment. Last year, the Texas legislature passed and Governor Abbott signed into law several substantial measures to protect both unborn babies from abortion and to support women with unplanned pregnancies. First, the legislature passed House Bill 1280, the Human Life Protection Act, by Representative Giovanni Capriglione and Senator Angela Paxton to completely protect unborn babies from abortion beginning at conception. The law will go into effect in late August, 30 days after the court issues its final judgment, which is expected in a few weeks. House Bill 1280 makes performing an abortion a first-degree felony, punishable by up to 99 years. The Attorney General can bring a fine of at least $100,000. And the law requires the mandatory loss of license for a doctor or nurse. Women cannot be prosecuted. And no one can be prosecuted for the treatment of a miscarriage or ectopic pregnancy. And the treatment of each of these medical conditions are not considered abortion in Texas or any other state. Also in 2021, the legislature appropriated vast funds to assist low-income women, especially women with unplanned pregnancies. The legislature appropriated $100 million for the current 2-year budget towards the highly successful Alternatives to Abortion program. That program provides services for women facing unplanned pregnancies to assist them in carrying their unborn baby to term, giving birth, and keeping or placing the baby for adoption. Support is available for at least 3 years after the birth of the child from nearly 200 pregnancy centers, maternity homes, and adoption agencies across the state, serving 150,000 clients each year, far more than the 55,000 abortions in Texas in 2020. For uninsured pregnant women with incomes up to 200% of the federal poverty level, the state's Medicaid program pays prenatal, childbirth, and follow-up care for mothers up to 6 months and babies for 12 months. The Texas Medicaid program pays for more than half of the births in Texas, costing nearly $1.2 billion per year. The legislature continued funding various free services for low-income women, appropriated $352 million over 2 years towards breast and cervical cancer screening, family planning, pregnancy testing, pelvic exams, sexually transmitted infection services, screening for and treatment of cholesterol, diabetes, and high blood pressure. The HealthyTexasWomen.org website lists thousands of providers. Texas Alliance for Life is at a point that we could not have reached without our tens of thousands of donors, our hundreds of volunteers, our millions of pro-life voters, our pro-life elected officials and judges, our board of directors, and our staff. We cannot thank you all enough. Getting to this point has been quite a journey, but we are just getting started. What's next for Texas Alliance for Life and the pro-life movement in the Lone Star State? We have been planning for more than a year when the legislature passed the Human Life Protection Act, and even before that, when Amy Coney Barrett joined the Supreme Court in 2020. We will be rolling out our plans in the coming weeks and months, but I can already say this. For the first time in 50 years, Texas is free to fully protect unborn babies and their mothers from abortion. That is what we are setting out to do. Stay tuned. That's all for now. See you next week.